Well, when I was ordained, much of our class was sent to Bonner High School in Philadelphia. And it was a big community. There were about 45 Augustinians, and we lived together, and all of us taught at Bonner High School. I thought it was a great adventure. I liked it very much. During the seminary, I had always desired to be a parish priest. But once I got out, I was never stationed in a parish. I was always stationed in a school. And I found out that that's what God really called me to. And I enjoyed it very much, teaching at Bonner High School and associating with all the students there. It was a great experience for me. I enjoyed it very much.
I was the first one ordained because I was a little bit older than I am by a couple of months. But I had been to Merrimack College for 2 years when it had first opened. And that's how I learned about the Augustinians, as you remember. And after 2 years of college, I joined the Friars in 1950. And Jim just mentioned about Bonner High School. Well, we had increased the Friars at the Bronx at the high school, Monsignor Bonner, Carroll High School. So it was just sort of expected all young guys would go to a high school. My first assignment was here in Villanova. 3 other of my classmates were stationed here, but I was only here for a semester. I got sick, and Father Greenlee thought it would be easier for me to be in a parish, and so I was transferred to St. Augustine's in Andover, and I spent 10 and a half really, really happy years there. At the beginning, I hated it because, quite unlike you, with 45 friars, I was with 2 fellows who at that point, I thought they were old geezers. They were only in their late 40s, early 50s. But I turned out to really, really become good friends with them. And most of my life, for the next 20 years, was in parish work. But I've had great variety. I went from parish work to working in formation in Washington, and had 4 years at San Gimignano in Italy, and then 17 years at Merrimack College, then back into formation, the novitiate, pre-novitiate, and then I came here last September. So I've been around the block. I've had 12 assignments.
Wow.
Great. Go ahead.
My first contact with an Augustinian was a guy from Atlantic City, Father Gavigan. I met him up at Merrimack. And the friendship became more enduring and more meaningful. And I won't go into all the details how I met him up there. But when he found out that my mother was native French and didn't speak English until she met my father, he had been to, is it La Salle up in Quebec, doing an immersion course in French. Does she speak French fluently? I said, yes, she certainly does. Well, that was one thing, but after he tasted her meals, he wanted to come back all the time. And that was the first contact, and from there, given Father Dacey's name, yeah, about information on the Augustinians. What he sent was 2 or 3 little cards this big. I didn't find out much at the beginning, but that was my contact from one who came from the Outer Banks, as it were, and not from an Augustinian context. And then I know a couple of times driving around Lawrence looking at the parish. In those days we had, what, 6 or 7 parishes in Lawrence. And so the rest is history. Getting in fall of 1949, you two, I guess, you two, at Staten Island. And I didn't remember what we had for supper. Thanks for reminding me, Jim.
You didn't go to Staten Island. Were you there, Mac?
Yes.
So then 4 of us spent a year prior to the visit at Staten Island. And my dream was someday to be a teacher. And of course, we went through Villanova. Then besides our studies with regard to the schedule, we had summer school and different sort of only classes. And I did take biology classes throughout the summer. And so when our ordination came, they sent us to Bonner, and then I was sent in to teach biology with only difficulty. And I was such a good teacher that after a year they shipped me out. Only to teach up in state New York. I went to St. Augustine's in Troy to work in the parish and also teach in the high school. And I taught in high school for 6 years, worked full-time for 6 years, and then just full-time in parish for 4 years. That was 10 years at Troy. I loved it. That's where I was put in charge of the CIO, and they all wanted to ski, so I learned to ski. Over in Massachusetts, there was a sign, ski school, 1 night a week for 8 weeks from February to March. That's when I went to the pastor. Yes, Charlie Hart, if I could go to night school. He said, I said, sure. So can I borrow your car? He said, sure. And then, so I learned to ski for 10 years. After that, they said, it's time to move on. And they sent me to Florida. Learn how to play tennis, but always went back to skiing. Well, I say that they sent me as a founding father of the parish of St. Augustine's in Castleberry and in Orlando, right near Disney World. I always bragged that I was pastor of the Magic Kingdom. It was so good. Sent me over to Bryn Mawr, working in the parish, again for 31 years. And retired from there to St. Augustine's Friary for 3 years. Health got the better part of me, and I came to the monastery for my health. It was one of the best things that happened to me. The monastery was great. They took such great care of me at that time. I had a heart condition, and things worked out very well. Loved it here, and had a good time all the time.
I just want to say before I, but the secret of being a good, happy priest and a happy Augustinian is to have good friends. These were my best friends then, and they're my best friends now. I just want to say that. But anyway, I was a missionary in Japan, and I had 52 happy years there. I was absolutely fulfilled as a missionary, and I ministered in Tokyo, Nagoya, Fukuoka, and Nagasaki. I was in Nagasaki for 16 years, and Fukuoka maybe over 20 years, and Nagoya 3 years, and Tokyo. So I got to know Japanese people on every level of their lives, and I was very, very happy, and I found the Japanese people to be very, very kind and very. They have the Confucian ethic. It's respect for other people, and that Chinese ethic is all through Asia. And some of the older people, when I tell them that the Japanese are very nice people, they say, yeah, but during the war they were very cruel. So it's true, they have original sin, just like us, and that's why they need evangelization. And I just, when I came back to America, I came here retired in the monastery, And I've been here for about 10 years, and I'm very happy with living here. Everyone is so kind, and you know, the support that we get from our benefactors is so helpful, because we have very happy lives here.